I'm Kelly Kearney with Story Constellation Magazine, and this show was fantastic. The Couple Next Door on Stars right now, the thriller. Jessica, you played Becca, a yoga instructor who's a free spirit, absolutely, along with her husband, Danny, played by Sam Heughan from
Yeah.
Outlander. You guys enter into this messy relationship and you kind of explore non-monogamous dynamics with the couple next door, which gets
Yeah.
complicated and messy quick. What was it about this gripping and provocative drama that made you want to sign on to the project?
Well, I think, oh gosh, everything you've just said, I think it's so, non-monogamous or non-traditional relationships are a big part of the world and community and the way people live. And so it was really, really interesting to get to explore that. Obviously, when we meet this couple, we're meeting them at a time of crisis where the wheels have kind of come off and the terms of their relationship and the things that have worked and thrived, before are not working so much now. And then you bring in the very attractive couple next door and chaos ensues. But I think it's a really interesting perspective and one that we don't see an awful lot of, these sort of non-traditional relationships. So it's just lovely, to have the opportunity to play Becca, who is in herself very open-minded and very curious and quite sure of herself, I guess, and her choices. And she was quite a pleasure to play.
It's so much fun seeing this unfold in a suburban setting. But we cannot overlook the chemistry between the cast. There's four of you that are in the main cast. And were you familiar with your co-stars before signing on to the project? And who are you most eager to share a scene with?
Oh, all of them, individually and as an ensemble. I knew of everyone, and that was a big part of the reason I signed on. Was I knew that they were very capable actors. And so I felt, I would be walking into something where I had scene partners who would really elevate the material. So they're all a joy. They all work slightly differently, and they come at, doing the job from a slightly different perspective and experience. And I think together, I think you can feel the chemistry. And it was such a joy, not just working with Sam, who plays Danny, my husband. Obviously, we had a lot of really beautiful, intimate moments. But as the four of us, as a foursome, it was just a pleasure every day. It's surprising and exciting, and no two takes were the same. So we're very lucky in that sense.
Well, the series is filled with these like passionate, emotionally charged scenes. They really run the gamut from highs and lows. Is
Yeah.
there a particular scene that stood out to you that was really challenging and you were really proud of when the finished product hit the airs?
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's such a sort of broad emotional landscape. Um, I mean, the finale is huge. And when I read it on the page, I was like, oh God, how are we gonna do this and do it with, honesty? And I think so much of that relies on Alfie, what he's going through, and as well Eleanor, who play Pete and Evie. Because in a way, Danny and Becca are just sort of, you know, a part of, but also bearing witness to this, this huge unfolding, this huge tragedy as it is. But watching, we had some rehearsals and watching particularly like Alfie plot through how that was going to work for him and how he was going to make these huge emotional jumps in such a short time. I was like, oh, I completely trust that he's going to be able to ground this, and I really think that he did. So that as a story wise is a huge undertaking. I hope that it's got some emotional truth to it that audiences can understand, I guess, a way into these characters and how they can find themselves in this position.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the finale was fantastic. It was so emotionally driven. What do you think it is about the couple next door that's going to make everyone want to see it? Because I know in the UK, everyone was on the edge of their seat. They loved it. They've already seen it. They've been lucky. Once it hits
Yeah.
stars, what is the fans going to be most? What are they going to be most attracted to for this series?
I think what it takes is something that we've, this sort of suburban noir in a way. Like it's about the sort of underbelly that bubbles beneath these picture perfect worlds. But I think what Dries, the director, has done is he's put this sort of twist on it. It feels odd, like a little bit David Lynchy in the world that he's created. And I hope that this sort of sense of this unnerving undertone, I hope that that's what draws audiences in. Then you get to know the characters and their relationships are fascinating, and the journey they go on is huge. But I hope that's the thing that draws people in, is it feels a little strange, and you kind of like makes you lean in a bit, like, what is this? What is going on with these people, and why is this the world that they exist in?
Suburbia, little Twin Peaks, and a little Desperate Housewives.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. The show was great. I can't wait for the fans to see it.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.